So last time I talked about residency and then briefly touched on domicile. Every individual has a domicile. They can only have one domicile, and you first acquire a domicile from your father at the date of your birth, and that is what your father's domicile is at that date if your parents are married. There are some complexities if your parents are unmarried, or if the father dies before the date of your birth, or if they're same-sex parents. But that's more complex, and I will come on to that in a later video. Throughout your childhood, up until the age of 16, if the person from whom you acquire your domicile changes their domicile, you also acquire their changed domicile. As an adult, you can acquire a domicile of choice. In order to do that, certainly from a UK perspective, you would be expected to sever all your UK ties and also live in that other country as a resident. Severing all of your ties is not as easy as you think, and there is a significant amount of case law in this area. I briefly mentioned residency earlier, and whilst domicile and residence are separate, they are now connected. A UK long-term resident is deemed domicile for all tax purposes, and that's inheritance, income tax and capital gains tax being the most relevant ones for domicile. The deemed domicile comes into play either for formerly UK domiciled individuals who subsequently become a UK resident again, or, as I say, 15 of the last 20 years as a UK resident. It's important to think about, predominantly from an inheritance tax point of view, and whether there's any planning that needs to be done before that deemed domicile date kicks in. But also, you would lose access to the remittance basis. So if you have significant assets or income from overseas sources, that all becomes taxable in the UK on an arising basis. So again, it's just something to think about before that deemed domicile date kicks in.